here we go. The long time coming walk around video for this thing. I figured I should probably do it now because I'm going to X Park tomorrow, and this may overlook this straight again, and that's, you know, saying something because it's already pretty bent. You're gonna have to deal with the stupid fisheye lens on my phone because, as you can tell, there's not a lot of space. This is basically where the car was made as well, where all the conversion and stuff was done, like right in that carport there. Broken concrete, uneven ground. So yeah, it is what it is. So I just do a rundown of everything that's been done to it, obviously the conversion and stuff like that, which is the thing I get asked about the most, obviously being RB25. So I'll go through all that stuff. It's just on blocks and stands at the moment because I've got to jack the ass of it up to pull the cage out for X Park this weekend. While I've got that, I'll jack the front up just as well, so we can go through all the bits and pieces that are done to it to make it how it is, and go from there. So we'll start with the engine, I guess, and the conversion, seeing as that is the main point of this car in reality, because everything else is, you know, just Commodore drift car stuff, which, you know, there's a lot of cars getting around now, a lot of Commodores getting around here, which is great to see. The amount of domestics being used for drifting now. So this is actually probably more basic than a lot of cars at the moment when it comes to steering geometry and all that stuff. It's all old Showtime stuff that I bought secondhand. Most of the stuff on this car I did buy secondhand or cheap or whatever. This was, you know, really a budget build, or a build with budget in mind. It's not really a budget build anymore because this car owes me well over 10 grand as it sits, which is cheap for a drift car these days. But yeah, I don't think I could build it again for what it owes me now, just with like how cheap I got the engine package and stuff like that. So which is probably fucking rocks. Probably a good place to start. I bought the entire running gear in a car, ready to go. That's the way I reckon is the best way if you want to do a conversion, is to buy a complete running car. Then you can see it running and driving to start with, which is always really good. And then once you've pulled all the stuff you want, you can then, you know, part the rest of the car out or sell the shell or do whatever. But I bought a Safiro with the RB25 swapped into it as well, because they obviously an RB20 from factory, and then took it out to a few events, gave it a good flogging, made sure the running gear was in tip-top shape, and then pulled everything apart and made a lot of people sad when I took it to their gear and smashed into a bunch of walls, mostly on accident. I was really trying to not, I wanted to like cave the rear quarters in, but I definitely didn't want to smash the front, which is what I did, unfortunately. I copped the VE ute to the front of my car. But that's, you know, what happens when me and Jake drive together. So on to the actual conversion bits. So the conversion itself and like mounting is actually really super easy in these. It's pretty hard to see down there, but there is a yeah, where it's mounted and stuff. It's just a VLK frame. So complete K-frame, add a VL. You can still just bolt your standard VS arms and the VS rack to the K-frame. Like everything just bolts in, which is really good. That'll work anything from a VB through to a VS. From VT onwards, they changed the K-frame setup and the rails are further apart. So you can't just bolt a K-frame in and then use the mounts. You've got to get some mounts made. It's been done. There's a few RB powered third gens getting around. But yeah, it's literally VLK frame, VL RB30 engine mounts, like the rubber ones. I've got tough mounts in this, just so I've got urethane mounts, but you can use factory RB30 VL mounts. They're basically the same as a 31 mount. They've just got an extra bracket on the bottom because they bolt through the crossmember instead of into the crossmember. but you can use an RB31 mount as long as you've got the little VL bracket underneath it. It's all well and good. And then for the 25, you just use R32 engine brackets, or Saphira, I guess, are the same as well. Any of those are RB20 brackets. The R33 ones sit downwards rather than outwards, so they don't work. But that's basically it in terms of mounting the motor. And as you can see, like, it sits pretty well in a factory position. That's a VL, like a just eBay radiator to suit VL. And then VL shroud, RB25 clutch fan, and like legit, like the only reason this has got like wear marks on it is because the shroud fell off, and the fan chewed it a little bit, or the shroud chewed the fan. But it literally, like, everything just lines up perfectly. Like, it's no fucking issues at all. With mine, because mine's a 25 box, I've got a cut and shut tail shaft with a 25 gearbox yoke. Just cut and shut onto a standard tail shaft. If you're using a 20 box, you can just use a manual VL tail shaft. For this, I could have used a manual VL turbo tail shaft, but yeah, fucking good luck. It's going to be obviously cheaper just to cut and shut one if you can, rather than trying to find something like that genuine, because that would just cost you a lot of money, and that's unnecessary. My gearbox, I think, is a modified T5 item. Oh, sorry, the gearbox crossmember. I was lucky that I bought like 90% of the conversion stuff out of a mate's car that was a RB20 VR with a 25 box. So I bought tail shaft, gearbox crossmember, all the clutch setup, pedal box, all that stuff straight off him, and the gearbox like plate for the tunnel and stuff like that, which is just, it's just stuff that, you know, saved me having to do the work myself and made life heaps easier. The car that he had was like a really, really early RB swap. Like, it was in magazines and shit. Back in the day, it was a white one. I'll put a photo in somewhere here. And that had like all the dash and stuff wired in. It didn't work very well, but like, you know, 2000s wiring. But that made life heaps easier for me, because basically everything was ready to go. I didn't use his loom or anything like that, because his was 20. This is Series 225, so it's all completely different anyway, because I don't have an igniter or anything like that. But yeah, so it's, well, the clutch stuff was just, you know, it's a stock master down there somewhere, behind there. So stock get rag master, stock get rag reservoir and all that, stock get rag pedal box, and then it's just a braided line to a standard 25 slave. So again, it's just all factory bits. That's what's so good about this conversion, is it's all factory bits and pieces that you just, you know, blend together, and it works. Like, even like the throttle cable is literally just the one out of the Saphira. And I've just got it chilling in the hole there, and it all works. So the best thing about this is if I break something, it's going to be a Commodore part or a Skyline part, and I can fix it. There's no custom bits and pieces other than the tail shaft. So, which I just had refurbished and cost me like $500. But, you know, it is what it is. It's one of those things. That tail shaft was made like 20 years ago or something, and it lasted until now, and it just needed like a new center bearing and all that shit. So, but yeah, in terms of conversion stuff, so that's all the driveline stuff, the clutch. The wiring I got done by Joystick, by Mr. Adam Carver, just because I suck at wiring, and it's just easier to give it to someone that knows what they're doing. So it's all, you know, nice and tidy and all that. And I just basically gave him a 33 loom that he trimmed the fat off, and then comes back and he goes, there's a big red wire there that you connect to power. There's some stuff that you earth out. It all just sits in the glove box in here. So it's just an is-tune, and then like, yeah, just all this stuff here that Carver's done for me. And he's obviously tuned the car and stuff as well. But yeah, when it comes to wiring, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Or I do, but I'm never going to make it look nice and neat and pretty and stuff like he's done. And, you know, it all works. So, yeah, it's definitely worth just in my opinion, like the things that you can't do yourself. Like for me, it's welding and wiring. If I can't do that, so I'll pay someone to do it. And you know, if you can find someone that does it for a reasonable price, it's also a bonus as well. So, oh hello. Apparently my internal storage is running low, so I think I might have to delete some shit and then continue this on. Alright, there we go. We're back. I just deleted like 20 gigs worth of videos off my phone because Snapchat and fucking Insta stories like to automatically back up and fill your phone up, right? So, where was I up to? Conversion stuff. The cooler piping is literally what came in the Cephy. I just cut holes in the VS to suit where the piping went. The intercooler is a generic 600 by 300 style intercooler that just sits behind the factory Rio bar. I'm not running an aircon condenser or anything like that, so it basically sits where that aircon condenser sat. I didn't have to trim the Rio or anything, it just bolts straight in, which is really nice. I've got an oil cooler hiding in behind there. Again, it's just what came with the Cephy, with the remote oil filter relocation and all that stuff. So I just shoved everything in and went, yep, that's good. Everything fits, so that's all nice. The exhaust, again, it's the dump and stuff that came with the Cephy. I just got the dump modified to suit. I just had to get it lifted up a little bit, like trimmed and brought up, because it sat below the chassis rail, so now it's tucked up right against the floor. It's also got a 2-bolt screamer, like an old style 38mm screamer, so I had to get Luke Cooper from Born Again Restorations, who did the exhaust. I just got him to clock it so it was pointing behind the rack, because originally it was pointing straight at the rail, so he's clocked that around. I'll show you when I jack the car up, but that's just pointing out behind that. He did the whole exhaust. It's a 3-inch mild steel, goes over the diff, which everyone told me I could go over the diff with a 3-inch and get low, but that's as low as I can make this car with the exhaust how it is. I'll jack it up and I can show you that stuff afterwards. Which basically, as far as the conversion stuff is done, that's it. In the boot, I've just got a surge tank and an 044, pretty generic. The battery's relocated to the boot as well, because obviously the battery tray now doesn't exist because there's a big hole where it used to be. I've got them like, actually I'll just pop the boot. It's a fucking 2-man job. It's a 2-man operation to open this boot. I'm gonna have to wedge the fucking that and then shove that up under there just enough that the fucking clip stays up like that, and we should be able to open this. Alright, so yeah, 044 surge tank, battery. If I do this again, which I will when I reshell this thing towards the end of the year, is all this stuff here will go up on there, on the hump for the diff, just so I can have a bit more boot space, because it's really annoying trying to put stuff in my boot at the moment, like extra wheels and tools and all that stuff, and being worried about the surge tank and stuff being damaged or anything like that. So I'll jack it up now and put it on some stands, and we'll go through the suspension and all the stuff underneath the car. Alright, so suspension wise, I'm running the VT to VZ, I guess, adjustable LCAs and shortened caster arms, or Z bars, with the VT Series 1 ball joint, so it's still got the whatchamacallit, the pinch style ball joint to suit the VS knuckle, because the VS knuckle's more aggressive. XYZ coilovers in the front, just how they are. Again, bought those second hand, same as the lock kit. The lock kit's also got the sway bar to LCA bracket on it, with a new white line 30mm sway bar. That's what I put in last weekend, so I haven't driven with it yet, so I'm keen to see how that feels. And then it's a VE rear sway bar link to connect it, because obviously the VS ones point up and down, So it's like it goes in and then up, whereas obviously these are side to side. So yeah, I had to go down to Sprints and grab some of them. I think it was like $60 for the pair, so it's nothing too bad. Got the lengthened tie rods, standard brakes, standard all that stuff. And yeah, that's basically it. Like, it's super basic. I would like more lock, but as it is with these wheels here, I'm already using the inside of the rim as a lock stop. Only on this side though. On the other side, it actually bottoms out, so the lock stop bottoms out there normally. But on this one, for some reason, it's just chewing the inside of that on the lip. They are a pretty aggressive wheel too. Like, they're 8.5 plus 13 or something like that. So they don't have a whole heap of like inner barrel, but they're still touching there. So I need to either go to like a more aggressive wheel and try and get more lock out of it, or I don't know, see what happens. I know Benn at Showtime's doing some new knuckles soon. He's working on those, so hopefully I can get my hands on a pair of those. Just I think they're a little bit more aggressive Ackerman and stuff like that. The Showtime knuckles are still pretty subtle when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, they usually have like bugger all trailing wheel lock with these, which, yeah, makes it really nice to drive and predictable. But yeah, it can suck if you're trying to be like really aggressive, which is my my driving style is very aggressive. But then if we move to the back, this is where the real party is. Oh! So we got some Monroe GT wagon shocks, which I've just I've put a sleeve in here out of the factory sedan shock, which is how you make those work. We got some chopped King's towing springs there, and then again, new white line sway bar that I've just put in. We've got the Nolithane arms and bushes, and I don't know if we can see it from this side. Maybe we'll see it better from the other side. Oh, I'm too fat to be getting up and down all the time. Come around this side. You can see the brackets there for the sway bar. I have to get under. Oh, this is not what I had planned for my day. Yeah, we got some adjustable upper arms as well. Again, so you can see the exhaust is touching the diff, like it's sitting on the jack at the moment. So the exhaust is touching the diff here, and then we come around here. Where am I looking? Where's the bump stop on this thing? Up there. Up here. It's basically sitting on the bump stop anyway. So the springs aren't really doing that much, to be honest, because it's basically riding the bump stops. But I want to eventually, the plan is get rid of the bump stop, bring the exhaust underneath the diff, and then basically get it low enough that this pinch point here is going to be where the car bottoms out. Even if I can notch that and get some Showtime rear arms, which my housemate's just bought for his as well. So I really want to get this thing like 2 inches lower all round, would be the ideal. And then go down a tyre size, or go down to 15s instead of the 16s, and really fucking rail it. But yeah, that's the suspension stuff. We'll quickly go through the interior, because that's what I'm about to do, is pull this cage out. So I've got velos in this thing, really old velos. They're from like the 80s. They're actually Velo Milanos, which is kind of trippy because my wheels are ROH Milanos. So it's Milano and Milano in this thing. Again, I bought these second hand. I think I paid like $200 for the pair. I've got Velo harnesses. Again, don't skimp out on safety. So good seats, good harnesses. In here, got a Nardi Gar at the moment. I normally have a deep corn, but my little brother's borrowing it at the moment, so I'll get that back soon. None of the dash works. The only thing that used to work on the dash was the fuel gauge, but that has stopped working when I replaced the pump. I broke the sender, so that just does whatever it feels like. I've just got a GPS Speedo, one of the $30 Kings jobbies, which is just wired into this. I just took the cigarette wiring and bought one of those adapter thingies and hardwired that in, because obviously the cigarette plug normally sits here. I'm not running a console, so having that there means I've got everything wired up. I can see all my bloody LED lights and stuff are all connected to that, although they're all fucking broken and shit. In-car entertainment, a bit of ice. We've got the DVD flip-out head unit, which is like manually flip-out, because it cost me like $90 from eBay. But it plays MP3s, USB, and it has Bluetooth, and all that stuff, which is kind of cool. And webcam. So, yeah. Because I wanted a flip-out head unit. The only issue is like the screen is dark as fuck, so it's not really great during the day. But yeah, I wanted something with Bluetooth, and I wanted something like a flip-out head unit, and like all the good old ones don't have Bluetooth or anything like that. So yeah, I just went with that. We've got some white phase HKS gauges for a little bit of that JDM flair. Boost gauge and a water temp gauge. That's basically it. I don't have an oil pressure gauge or an idiot light. I probably should do something about that, but you know, here we are. It's lasted this long without it. But yeah, that's my vitals there. That's my speed for when it was a street car. Of course, RB box means you can put, you know, good shifters on it. So we got a Grex on there as well. Just your standard eBay spec hydro handbrake with a Willwood Master, and then I've just got soft lines. That goes to a hard line right up at the thing. Actually, I can show you that. And then this is a GK Tech S chassis rear line that then just tees off to the brake brakes. I run an inline hydro. You can run, I don't know, I had a dual caliper, but it was for a 31 diff, so it's slightly different. So if we look here, that's my brake line there, that one there, and then that tees down to a rubber line down there somewhere, and then that's just the factory line. That's just chill on there, chills under the car, doesn't do anything. I've just replaced the whole thing. There's the hydro. I'm not going to be able to see it. Actually, I might be able to. Oh no, it tees off under the car. Oh no, there it is. So that's the hydro line there, goes in through there, tees off. So yeah, then obviously the pop-up sunroof as well. I cut that myself, cut the hole, put it in. It's not hard. It would have been harder if I wanted to keep the roof lining, but I didn't, so that's fine. But yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. The wheel specs, I know a lot of people ask the wheel specs. They're 16 by 8.5 plus 13. That pair of rears there, 16 by 10 plus 12, or something like that. They're all roundabout because I've slapped them together myself. I used old wheels. So like, those 10s there, they're the old Holden ones where the centers came out of. They're the inner barrels, front and rear. So there's a square barrel front and rear, just the offset comes in the face itself. These are from 7s or Ford wheels, either or, the inner barrels of those. And then these ones here, that's my latest thing. These are they're like between a 9.25 and a 9.5. They're about plus 15 to 20, something like that. I need to measure them properly. But that's a Holden inner with then the Ford inner on the outer, or like a 7. So it's the same outer lip as the fronts, but with the inner lip as the rear, which means I don't have to run super aggressive guards to make these fit, because that was the issue with the 10s, is you couldn't get it on anything. The only reason I ran them that aggressive is because the VS used to have had the SSRs on it, which were a 9.0, which were very aggressive. That's why my guards are pumped so much. And that's one of the things I want to do with the new build. is not had to go so aggressive on the guards to make the wheels fit. I want to have more of a street look. Yeah, I guess the only other stuff is just the exterior stuff. So it's a Lexan front bumper with a VS S-Pack lip that's been just like trimmed to suit the bumper. They're S-Pack skirts or SS skirts, same thing. The rear is also S-Pack, it's just missing the rear valance. So it's just the outer ones, because the one that came with that was a tow bar one, it was all mangled. The thing I did on the weekend was I night shaded some factory tail lights red. I took the Lexan ones out. Now it's got like redded out tail lights, which I actually really fucking dig. I'm really happy with that. And then I've gone back to the B-Wave. So it's not genuine, don't worry. I didn't hack up a genuine one and put it on my boot. But that thing's been with me for a long time. I had that on my 32 four-door that I took to Mount Gambier. And there's photos of me like scraping the wall with this wing sitting on top of it. And I actually gouged all the bottom of it out. So that's just like expander foam and bog, basically. But yeah, it's a 180 SX B-Wave. The other wing that I had on here before was a S15 D-Max boot wing. It's also had like, you know, VK stuff on it. Just whatever you find, basically. Take whatever you can find that like is close, tech screw it to the car, and she's fucking hunky-dory. I don't know what this is off. Stop asking me. It's like a Magna or an AU or something, I don't know. It was in my mate's shed. Now, he doesn't know where it came from either, so I can't help you with where that comes from. But like, also, it doesn't fit at all. Like, none of this lines up, but like from 20 foot away, it looks fine. So you can buy ones that actually suit a VS on eBay, I'm pretty sure. But again, that was free, not fucking $200. So I'm sure I've missed stuff. Oh yeah, the bonnet as well. I really wanted to modify these hinges, but they're really shitty design. So I'll figure that one out. But the bonnet art was done by Jake Ellis. What's his Instagram? Chief ADL on Instagram. So hit him up if you want under bonnet stuff. I know he's fucking pretty flat out, but basically all the drift cars in Adelaide that have actual good under bonnet art was done by Jake. Also big shout out to Nick as well at Tarzan Tyre Centre. As you can see, that I've just replaced that half of that sticker. This one, I think this side's a little bit better. But yeah, old mate Nick at Tarzan Tyres has been a massive help to me and all my mates. My brother hit him up originally. Was the one that I went to him through Jack. Way back in the day when he was working out of his back shed, but he's always looked after us with tyres and stuff like that. So not a sponsorship or anything like that, just, you know, long-term customer, and he looks after us. So big thanks to Nick, and massive shout out to my housemate too, Jamie, that basically helped me smash out this fucking conversion in like a weekend. Same thing. We just did it all here. It all bolts in. He's LS converting this one as well, so that'd be pretty cool. RB versus LS. But yeah, that's basically it. As for this thing, I'm doing X-Bike tomorrow, so it's probably going to get written off. But if not, I've got another shell sitting at my old bloke's house. Because like just shit like this thing's had so many hits in the front, like I just can't keep pushing it out. I want to go back to having a street car too. Like, this thing looks sick. The actual design was done by Corolla on Instagram. And then Jake and Corey and a few other mates helped me to paint it and do that. It's all just done with fucking graph paint. But yeah, I'm gonna reshell it into a street car. So if there's interest, I might try and document what I'm doing with that. Because basically all I'm going to do with that is pull all the old stuff out, clean the shell up, have it ready to go. And then again, like over a weekend or two, actually pull all the stuff out of this. Put it into, not this, it's going to be a silver one. But yeah, out of that, into that. And if I can remember, I'll try and, you know, document it and stuff like that. So if you have any other questions and stuff that I've missed, ask me down below in the comments. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed whatever this is. And keep your eye out for me writing this thing off at X-Block on the weekend. Very good.